Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Wake in Jake. It is Wednesday, December 17th, and we're going to do a little matchmaking. Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. I've got a couple songs in me. America's GM Jim Bowden came out with his article playing the best matches for free agents, which will just allow us to go through the big guys who are remaining. We did have like a little flurry that went down between Ha-Sung Kim, Brad Keller, Adrian Houser, Luke Weaver to the Mets. Who would have thought? Except us all year on Talking Yanks. Good for them. Happy for them, says the jealous ex. The big thing, again, I'm trying not to do this time of year doing the Talking Baseball Wake and Jake overlap because it can be easy. Watch out for Murakami. I guess that's just the informative news if you're over here. Murakami's posting date is coming up the 22nd. So depending what kind of holding pattern we're in for the free agents, which there's a C word that I don't like to say, not the one our British friends say. There's a C word that's been linked to baseball before that the three pitchers who signed, Adrian Houser, Luke Weaver, and Brad Keller, all signed the exact same contract. Brad Keller and Luke Weaver, interesting. I mean, two guys that were not great starters, converted to the bullpen and were good. Okay.
Similar career arcs.
Adrian Houser threw 125 innings last year to a 3.31. His stuff doesn't project as well, and that's what you get paid for. But three of the exact same contract.
At least in the Keller to Weave thing, like if there was a little more separation, it'd be plausible to just be like, oh well, they said that deal is our market, and they said, do you want the same deal? But it happened really close to each other.
I don't know,
Jim.
I don't know. What I do know, Murakami is one of the bigger wild card free agents we've had in a little while. And I'm excited to see if Uncle Jim Bowden on The Athletic talks about him, America's GM. Because I've taken a sneak peek at the article. I thought it would be fun to reveal together. The two things I looked at three things. We'll find them out along the way. I don't know. And again, maybe this has to do with article writing or with how people at The Athletic get paid. I could ask questions. I don't want to send those questions. But Jim Bowden has Luke Weaver and Brad Keller in this article. And there's a footnote that's like, oh, yeah, had Keller and Weaver in the article. It's like, you could have just taken him out. But I don't know. There has to be something with word count there or the length scrolling through the article. I don't know. If any of our Athletic friends want to reach out or if you have commentary, comment below. Might read it. Excited to. Murakami, the 22nd. So that is Monday, Tuesday? Not good with dates.
The 22nd, I think, is Monday.
Monday.
Confirmed.
And man, this is a guy, so there's velo concerns. Didn't hit anything 93 miles per hour plus last year. That's nervous. He's a couple years removed from breaking the home run record in Japan, 25 years old. It's just really interesting. Nobody knows anything. If it's going to be a 3-year contract or an 8-year contract. If it's going to be $15 million a year, if it's going to be $25 million a year. One of the bigger, is he going to hit? I mean, that's the secret. And where we landed, and I don't want to spoil Talking Baseball, I guess where I landed, because you're here for me, not Trevor Goof. If he had his numbers at AAA and AA, you'd be very excited for him. He gets on base a ton. The power numbers are crazy. Like, he's going to have to figure out velo, and that's a tough thing to figure out. But, I mean, even if with some training, some coaching, or, working on his batting technique, I think we can get him there. And I really like Trevor had the point that sounds better coming from him, the former professional athlete, that he's like, Dude, to be as good as Murakami is at this age in that league, like, he has to have a pretty special work ethic and, like, really good talent and, like, that, I don't know. If your organization is, you know the thing you have to work on, don't get me wrong, it's one of the hardest things to do in sport, but, like, you know, if we can get Murakami hitting 95 and under, guess what? There's a lot of guys that don't hit, like, 98 and up. Like, some of those numbers are so silly. But, yeah, I don't know. I tend to believe, I'm just very interested. A lot of the big boys aren't rumored. And for me, I guess I've always thought about it, if I was a GM of one of the middle market teams, and I can't get one of the big free agents. I cannot sign Kyle Tucker. I'm the Cincinnati Reds. I'm not allowed to sign him. Just is what it is. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Well, you got to take a chance somewhere, and could you take a chance on this guy that if it works, you could have a star? Like, he has a 50-homer season in Japan. The power is legit that if you can get that contact going just a little bit more, you could have a really not only talented player, but also, like, an international star. Like, you can, how many times have we talked about the Dodgers in Japan and the extra money, or the Angels games with Ohtani where all the advertisements were in Japanese? Like, if Murakami's an all-star level player, my goodness, like, not only did you just make a good baseball bet, but also financially, what you could go to your owner or your operations team and be like, yeah, that guy I brought in that now has driven revenue up, I did that. So I tend to think that one of the middle market teams will end up stepping up. Maybe a funky contract. You remember Kikuchi when he signed. That was a bizarre opt-out, opt-in things. If I'm Murakami, I think I'd want the short term, or maybe with the opt-in, opt-out, because he's very young. He's 26, like I said, for opening day next year. That if he's good, you could hit free agency again, and you're established and known. Very interesting to see who's going to pop out on this. And it's so funny how, again, our team opinions just come in. Like, if Murakami turns out to be the guy in Pittsburgh, I think we're all going to be nervous as hell and worried about Murakami. If Murakami signs with, let's see, who do we got? What would be the team Murakami signs with besides the Dodgers that we'd be like, oh, maybe this dude is a dude? That's an interesting game. How about this? The Red Sox.
Red Sox.
If the Red Sox or the Mets, two teams that have been in the spotlight of this free agency, sign Murakami, I would then be like, oh, shoot, maybe he's a guy. And that's just so ridiculous because he's the same person that's going to go to any of these teams. That I'm going to choose to believe for now. I feel like one of the big Japanese contracts hasn't really burnt a team recently. That's a fun game, BBD, if you want to. Last Japanese big contract that hurt a team. Like, I got into some of the hitters. Sasugo with the Rays, I don't know. I watched his highlight reel and liked him, but that was like a 2-year deal for not a lot of money.
Yeah, that wasn't like a huge investment.
Like, what's the last big Japanese contract that just hasn't, that has, like, hurt a team?
Yeah, like, has one happened since Keiagawa that, like, really hurt? Because that's the last big one on my mind.
And, I mean, that's going back years.
Almost 20 years ago now.
That, I mean, I'm even thinking, okay, I'll get in there. I'll go on Kodai Sanga's baseball reference, who, by the way, whenever he pitches, he's amazing. Okay, recently, Sugano came over, old, exact same birthday as me. Kind of steadied the ship, but was whatever. Imanaga has been better than hyped. Jung-Hoo Lee has been solid. Is he playing up to the contract? We'll find out. He kind of did this year.
And Korean hitter, different.
Am I canceled?
KBO's a different level.
He's listed as a Japanese, birthplace Japan. is what I have in front of me. Excuse me.
From the KBO. I don't know his lineage.
I mean, Yamamoto crushing. Like, there's a couple guys that didn't get paid. Ogasawara or whatever. Like
even Sagano is a 1 for 15 or whatever.
Which, I mean, that's money, but also not.
1 year deal like that didn't cripple anybody.
Yoshida has hit, remember there was trade rumors about him because he didn't play defense. There hasn't been trade rumors because he came back and he showed that he's incredible when he's locked in. Seiya Suzuki, all he has done is hit. Let's see. Susugo, Kikuchi, Otani, Maeda, Tanaka, Noriaoki contributed. Darvish, Iwakuma. Like, what? Kasuke Fukudome? Am I saying his name right?
Yeah, it was his.
I remember.
His deal big.
I feel like there was hype around him. His stats look better in hindsight. Jeez. I don't know. I mean, you got to start really scrolling down to some Agawas, and Dice K was as hyped up as a player has ever been hyped up.
And he was, if memory serves, good than hurt.
Yeah, he was weird. He had like the one season, and then there's like 2 half seasons that are, but it's, again, for what people thought he could be.
Like he was supposed to be like the guy. And the first 2 years, good. But.
Yeah, I don't know. As I go through this list, where I think our guy Munetaka Murakami is going to land, I don't know. There's not like for all
there's
the
not
concern,
a lot of precedent.
For all the concern, there's not like 3 guys we'd be pointing to like bang, bang, bang. Didn't work.
Sometimes you get all these guys we talked about, and there's not but sometimes you get this.
It's a wild card. Let's see what happens. That could be the next piece of moves or news that we get as he has to sign by Monday, January 2nd. And all of this is because things have gone a little quiet. The Ha-Seong Kim news probably could have gotten more play. Go look at your Braves lineup when you get a second. Left, right, switch throughout. And everyone you look at and is like, they're a good baseball player. Right now, their 8-9 is listed as Michael Harris and Ha-Seong Kim, with Ozzie Albies in the 7-hole. Like, the Braves hype train is going to get going, and they're the first team that I think you could look at and say if they don't make another single move, like they can be ready.
They can roll it out there tomorrow.
They can roll it. They have rotation, bullpen, Robert Suarez. Like, Braves going to be an interesting hype train for them. And we'll see where we're at on that. So with all of that, I said we're going to play some Matchmaker with America's GM, Jim Bowden, and it's all brought to you by Shopify. Shopify, it's where this company started. We said, hey, what do we do? How do we do anything? Shopify helped. And we started selling shirts, and we started kind of developing a website a little bit like Shopify. If you're looking to get in the game, and I think the cool thing is that, again, it's not in the words they want me to tell you, because why would I do that? We were with Shopify from day one. We are still with them. And we just launched our new Slashline website. Make sure you go check it out. We were like, all right, we got to up our game. This is year 7, 8. Like, we need to be legit. And our new Slashline site is that. So go check that out with Shopify. And on your side, if you're trying to get something started, Shopify has all the tools you need behind the scenes. Click around. You'll find out good stuff for your business. So go check it out. If you're trying to build something from the ground up, kind of like we did, it's time to go over to Shopify. Start your trial today. Click the link in the description. Sign up for $1 per month at shopify.com/bakers. If you're ready to leave the amateurs and head over to the big leagues. All right. So I think I teed this up a little bit. America's GM, Jim Bowden, did an article playing Matchmaker. And by the way, like, we could be in for a weird offseason. Maybe I've got too much Yankee brain in me right now, as they haven't brought in a player from outside the Yankees besides Rule 5 draft pick Cade Winquist. Stuff. But we have the upcoming CBA stuff. Who knows if there's anything actually lurking there, whether it's for owners, players, or other. And just a reminder, like, sometimes we get caught up in free agency and it feels like a long time. Alex Bregman didn't sign till, like, I think right before Valentine's Day last year. So that's 2 months away.
Sometimes it goes.
3 years, 120 for Breggy. Opted out. He's still out there. Diamondbacks rumors. Let's see if America's GM taps into that. And so, yeah, then the thought process was, how do we want to go through this? And I figure I'll go for the ride live with you and see what I agree with and what I disagree with. And like I told you, the one thing that did spark me was I did read the editor's note that was like, oh, I know Keller and Weaver have signed, but... And then you scroll down. And not to throw our guy under the bus, he gives us 3 teams with each player. 0 for 6 with Keller and Weaver. Relievers are tough.
Every team could use them.
Every team could use those guys. The
difference between 1 and 6 on a reliever chart is way different than when we're talking about a belly.
You know, and this came up at the end of Talking Baseball. What bullpen? Oh, go look at the Phillies bullpen. I know, Beebs, you had that side-by-side going. Phillies bullpen goes 6 deep right now with guys that you'd like 8th inning or later. Duran, top of my head, Duran, Alvarado, Strom, Keller now, Kerkering. Was there one more? No, so maybe it was 5, with all due respect to Tanner Banks. That's a nice bullpen.
That's not bad.
I mean,
that's a group you can start the year with.
Again, I normally bring up the Yanks in a positive light, but right now the Yanks have Bednar and Doval. Good. After that, though, Fernando Cruz, Tim Hill, Jake Bird. Enough about them. Enough about that. Let's talk about free agents. And the first one is Framber. Framber Valdez is a free agent. Did you remember? 32 years old. The best matches listed are Mets, Orioles, Tigers. Interesting, Jimbo. Mets, yes, and I guess for any of these big starting pitchers, especially with how the Mets season ended last year, and I don't want to say this in a rude way, because I would do this if it was a Yankee or any other team, really. Nolan McLean just committed to Team USA, which I love. Represent your country. That's sick. But young pitcher, like innings restriction on the year. Your team ran out of pitching last year. Framber, innings-wise, has been about as stable as it gets, with consistency, with keeping the ball on the ground. Framber's last 4 seasons, 192 innings, 176, 198, 201. His body seems built for it. It doesn't seem like he's overthrowing. The Mets need to lock in some innings, and could Framber and McLean be a pretty good 1-2 punch? It's again where pitchers get weird, because every team should and could be on them. Look at what the Dodgers did. You can't have enough, literally. But the Mets have to get a bona fide guy. And where pitchers, for position players, it's a lot easier to be like, okay, that guy plays third base. That team needs a third baseman. Pitchers, open board. Who else do we have? We have the Orioles. Hey, maybe.
They seem to be around it on a lot of guys right now.
Are these the new Orioles? Are they going to give out $250 million plus contracts? How about this? Before Pete signed, I would have said they can't be on the list. They're allowed on the list. I would, in my mind's mind, I think they made their move. I think they're going to add a pitcher, but I don't think
they might be in the trade waters.
I don't think they're going to go from instantly. They didn't lock up Gunnar. They locked up our guy Samuel Basayo, who we're going to root for. But to go from like no contracts to Pete and Framber, that'd just be a big jump. So that would still surprise me. And then the Detroit Tigers, which I don't know. I'm in a weird spot with Detroit. Me and Jim got ate up on the internet yesterday saying Peralta's price tag would be more than Skubal because of the $14 million difference. I think it's a conversation. I'm fine with being wrong. I've realized Skubal is special, but it's also why I don't think a Skubal trade is going to get done, because the price tag that they're going to be asking for, and for 1 year, where you can say 1 year and $8 million with Freddie Peralta, it's a little easier to stomach. I don't know. I'm fine with being wrong. If they both get traded, examine the prospect packages. Pause. But yeah, I get it. I understand what the internet did, and the people that wanted to have a conversation, that was fun. Internet that was like
plenty of people interacting like normally.
Peralta over Skubal?
End of the day, that amounted to a fairly hot take that probably is incorrect, but
I'm fine if that's wrong.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess I think my final punchback on that will be, by the end of free agency, if Skubal and another position player who signed for X amount of dollars, I'll do that with Peralta and a position player and be like, would you rather have Freddie Peralta and Bo Bichette, or would you rather have Skubal and Conforto? I'll get there. I'll find my Jake math to make it work.
We'll find what it is.
I understand what everyone's saying. I do think we're predictively putting down Freddie Peralta just a little bit. 5th in the Cy Young. Whatever. I get it. He's Tarek Skubal. He's the bad man. To pitch at that level is a little different. I'll be wrong one day. Anyways, Tigers, what is he doing? Are they going to trade that guy? Again, I still kind of don't think they do, which then it's funny. Okay, so they didn't think they would pay Skubal, so now will they double down and get another pitcher? And, hey, if you could get Framber for $150 and Skubal ends up signing for $350, okay, you saved $200 million. You lost
your guy.
You lost your guy. You still have a guy, and then for a year, Skubal, Framber, Jack Flaherty, Casey Mize. I don't know. I'm in a weird spot with the Tigers that, like, Glaber came back, Finnegan came back, Kenley Jansen signed. I don't know which direction. If you're going to make one big investment on that team, I still don't know if you go hitting or pitching. It's a lot of young dudes in that lineup. That I guess I don't think I would have the Tigers there for Framber, but the next player is Framber Light, Ranger Suarez, 2 years younger, a little bit more of an injury history, and they list Orioles, Astros, Phillies. So, kind of funny. I've liked the Astros for Ranger. He has, again, if you're replacing Framber, like, I think his contract's going to come out less expensive. His playoff numbers are insane that I could see Houston being like, yeah, we shelled out less money. We might get better performance. That I could see that. Orioles are listed 1 again. I gave you my speech about that. Phillies are listed 3rd for Ranger Suarez, and I would probably have them 1. I mean, the Phillies, let's see. They're supposedly one of the last few teams in on a Mai, which that would be a big contract. Phillies aren't done with this thing, and they like their guys. Like, they wanted to bring Schwarbo back. They want to bring Real Muto back, and I think they want to bring Ranger back. And I think he fits, like, a beautiful role on that team. I guess I'm going to have to get this Orioles thing figured out in my head the rest of the way. Okay, Amai, who's been the hot one in the streets, listed or the past couple days. Cubs 1, Yankees 2, Mets 3. The Cubs are very fascinating to me because they Well, it looked like they were trying to get off Imanaga, and I did that whole thing with you guys. Imai's got some funky quotes out there where he wants to beat the Dodgers. He said he kind of wants to be the only Japanese guy on the team. I don't think that's a requirement. I think he should still care about the contract in the city. But the Cubs, I mean, they've been in the mix between Imanaga and Suzuki, which, I don't know, end of the day, I think I'd like having a couple guys I could speak my language with.
If I were...
That's just me.
If I were in a position where I'm looking to get a contract in Japan, I'd probably be inclined to pick a team that has, say, 3 guys who speak English on it.
If I was studying abroad, it'd be nice to know 1 or 2 American people.
The British, roommate I'm going to have.
A couple Brits. Wouldn't be awful. Doesn't even have to be in the room. Maybe in the suite.
Yeah.
But anyways, Cubs, again, sometimes contract-wise, they get interesting. But yeah, there's some smoke and fire there. Yankees want a pitcher, and they've wanted a Japanese player for a little bit. That, Jimmy was on Perplexity AI today getting the scouting report on Amai. So we don't believe until we think there's reason to believe. And it's starting to get close to belief time on Amai. Third team listed is the Metropolitans, who, hey, everything I said before, like they need another pitcher in there. Yeah, Senga still there. Remember there was a ton of Senga trade rumors? Is that any merit?
He went to them saying, by the way, I don't want to be traded if that's an option.
I think trade rumors, and this is obvious, but what becomes a rumor is just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, we're a step away. We're still not respected enough in the perfect way that we can say something and it's not a rumor. But a beat reporter, like if John Heyman tweeted out right now, Amai and the Rays would be a great fit. Like, that's a rumor.
Yeah.
I say that on Talking Baseball, and people are like, okay, whatever. That I think we get too far in it's what a rumor is.
Especially with trade stuff, because especially in early off-season, like, the GM's job is finding out how do other teams value every player on your roster. Right. That's not the same as, Yankees are open to Jazz trades, and maybe they truly are, but it's their job to figure out, like, what's his value in a trade if he were to need to be in one, or...
Hasn't been a lot of smoke around Zach Gallen since Bob Nightingale said he signed with the Cubs and then passed and dunked on him.
Then he super didn't.
And real recognized real. He doesn't have the Cubs as one of the best matches. Really like that. He has Astros, Diamondbacks, Tigers. What are those D-backs doing? Currently rumored with Alex Bregman. Yeah, I could see Diamondbacks. They if the money is there, and supposedly there's money there if they're talking to Breggy, right? Tigers I kind of like. Doesn't that kind of feel like when Jack Flaherty went to the Tigers? Like Jack Flaherty, one of the best young pitchers in the game, felt like he was falling off a little bit,
down year, whatever you call it.
Yeah. Went to the Tigers and kind of built himself back up. That kind of feels like where Zach Gallen's at. Actually, I think that Tigers make more sense to me than when we talked about them for Framber. Just because I see them a little less risk. Could Zach Gallen have a better season next year than Framber? Yeah. Baseball. And yeah, he's probably going to be short-term to try to build himself back up, that I could see Tigers almost become like a pitcher rehab place. It's a friendly ballpark. I don't know their pitching gurus over there, but Scooble's a good guy to know. Flaherty throws some of the best breaking stuff in the game. That I don't know. I like a little pitcher rehab in Detroit. And the Astros, again, it's kind of like they're going to bring in a pitcher. It's who do they like?
And I mean, if I'm a Tigers fan, let's assume the Tigers are going to earnestly try to keep Skubal. If the pitcher they signed this year were Gallen, 3 years opt-outs, let's say, and it's easier to work around that for keeping the guy you love than you signed Framber for $200 right now.
That is kind of funny. If they sign Framber, that's kind of them saying we're not going to sign Skubal.
Like that, a little bit like how could you?
Which, by the way, someone talked me into that the other day, that it was like, hey, if they trade Skubal, they're going to get parts back, and they need to, like, use that money elsewhere. That, who knows, man? That's where
teams do stuff.
How Murakami can spin this wheel. The Bregman rumors to the Diamondbacks are wild, because it's like, okay, so they'd sign Bregman to trade Ketel Marte, and then they've got new parts in, and it's, what are we doing? Like, if that happens, how much that changes almost every other team's offseason is pretty bizarre.
And sometimes teams just hit the chaos button a little bit.
Do we need to we do coaching carousel in college football. I feel like free agency should have more carousel vibes. I guess in coaching, we know, because, like, guys interview places. It's like, oh, Lane Kiffin's talking to Florida and LSU. Well, he's going to LSU, so now Florida needs someone. Where at the end, we get rumors, like Ha-Sung Kim, it was like the A's offered him 4 for $48. That's not exactly how the carousel works. Talking myself through this, people. Sorry. If you have any carousel thoughts, feel free to comment. Let me crank through some more pitchers. Mike King next. Yankees won. Hello. Red Sox, Orioles in my head, and I cannot tell if this is a defense mechanism. I currently have Mike King going to the Red Sox or the Mets. The Red Sox are listed as the 2 team. I say you what, when we just talked about Houston, I could see Houston being like, we want Mike King. Mike King has some serious upside there. He had his playoff performance where it struck out 14. Do I have that number right? That, like,
something like that.
There's not a lot of guys that have one. I know Ace gets weird and we all get in our own way, but, like, Mike King's best is 1. And his contract isn't going to reek of that. And
his numbers are just good.
Mike King,
2.91 ERA the last 4 seasons. I know there's been some injuries, and he's not super young. 2.99 ERA last 5 years.
7 innings pitched against Atlanta, game 1 of the wild card. 5 hits, 0 walks, 12 strikeouts. So the story did get bigger over time for me. Still really good. When I saw Houston, when I was talking Houston and I scrolled down the screen and I saw Mike King, I was like, ooh. And again, maybe this is just a weird defense mechanism, because I really like Mike King, cool Yankee, cool person. The teams that I'm thinking for him are Houston, the Mets, and the Red Sox. Felt personal, Jake. Felt personal. Let's see. Any other pitchers that we need to talk about here? The Basset Hound, Padres, O's, Blue Jays. Orioles would be interesting. In division, less of a bet. But if that doesn't work, then Orioles front office is in the crosshairs again. Tyler Mahle. No one's talking about him, huh? He was really good when he pitched. Okay, so that's a fun one. Tigers, yeah. Angels, yeah. Man, the Angels overpay staff. I say this tastefully, because overpaying still means you're getting a good player. But the Tigers overpay with Mahle and Kikuchi at the top. I know. If you just looked at the numbers, you'd be okay with it. The name recognition is a little off, and I think that's why, but okay, Tyler Mahle. Let's see what's next. Relievers, I don't know. Again, he starts off Keller, Weave, goes 0 for 6, so I won't get lost in that. Let's jump over to the hitters, and the hitters are brought to you by DraftKings. That's right, people. Today's episode is sponsored by the DraftKings Casino. Oh, did he say it that way on purpose? The holidays just got hotter. Cash eruption continues to spread the heat and cheer at DraftKings Casino. And hey, if you're a new player, play $5, get 500 spins over 10 days on cash eruption games. Again, this part's not in there. Whenever I go to Connecticut, they have the games. I happen to be on a train, not doing much. I'll let you figure out the rest. Sign up today using promo code JMSports so they know we sent you. DK Casino is safe, secure, and reliable. Let's get into hitters. Bichette. Molly Bichette. Best matches. Okay, we haven't seen too much of the reveal, and this is what I was saying about the pitchers before, because, yes, every team. Bichette, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Giants. Okay. Let me go in reverse order. Giants haven't been too top of mind for me because, again, they've sneakily have invested in this team. I keep forgetting Devers is their first baseman, if I'm being 100.
Yep. And just that they've signaled maybe this isn't an offseason that they're nine-figuring because they've done sneaky a lot of additions.
Have Willie Adames, real big contract. Jung-Hoo Lee, over $100 million. Devers, Chapman got his. Elliot Ramos hasn't yet, consistent. Bryce Eldred listed at the DH. You go, Glenn Coco. Casey Schmidt, Patrick Bailey, Luis Matos. I'm not saying they can't add, because the pitching. Okay, I'm not loving my Giants' depth. That I don't know what they're going to do. I would be shocked, especially now looking at the depth currently listed on this roster, if Bichette was the move to make their infield Devers, Bichette, Adames, Chapman. I mean, don't get me wrong. If Buster can sweet talk the owner into that, I'm about it. I mean, you start talking like best infields ever. So that would be cool.
The on-field fit makes perfect sense.
I like it. Let's go, Buster. Make it happen. I don't believe in it. I don't. The Blue Jays, I do believe in. Although, I'll tell you, it is a weird thing, and the Blue Jays kind of brainwashed us this postseason. You look at the Blue Jays today, and they could roll that team out there just because we feel so good about so many of their players. That being said, Bichette and the Blue Jays, we know they have money. They've been talking to everyone. They haven't lost anyone yet. They've just added pitching. I guess the guys are free agents when I mention Scherzer, Bassett, Bichette, Sir Anthony. But yeah, right now it has Ernie Clement at second, who the last time we saw him, he was the most hits in a World Series. Andres Jimenez is at short, where last time we saw him, he looked good at short, and he got every clutch hit. That Blue Jays team, man, I say this with all due respect. We're going to look back at some of that and be like, what the hell was that? And it lists Addison Barger at third. So, like, if the Blue Jays were good, they're good. I'm not saying they're out on Bichette because he was a big part of what they've been doing, and they clearly show they want to be invested in this team going forward. They should. If I was doing an article listing the three teams Bichette would sign with, the Blue Jays would be on there. A couple days ago, I would have still had the Braves on there, but they signed Ha-Sung Kim, and like I just told you, that team is now, they're good. That the number one team listed is the Boston Red Sox. Interesting. Again, the Red Sox, with the Bregman money coming off and the Devers money coming off, don't let people forget that, especially Boston fans. The Red Sox are going to make a big move. Everyone kind of thought it was Pete. You wonder if it's Ketel Marte in the trade market. The Red Sox are going to be in the action that, I guess Bichette is on this list. I haven't thought about that. And that would stink. That's Yankee fan Jake talking. Dang. I guess who are the other teams that mentally we've talked? Detroit gets thrown into the Bichette talks again. I don't love that for them.
And people throw the Yankees out around there. There just hasn't been real rumors or reason to truly believe in that yet.
It's just Yankee
as a Yankee fan who's pretty in the weeds on what they could have going on.
Waiting and wishing. As I do a quick scan of the AL, Houston doesn't give out long enough contracts. So in the NL, I guess if Arizona's going to be in Bregman, I don't know. Can you rule them out for Bichette? I don't know really what's going on down there. Supposedly the Bregman thing is supposed to be another Arizona hookup. But if you're going to have that, then are the Cubs in? And actually, as I started going through the whole National League, the Mets I can't rule out. The Phillies I can't rule out. I think the rest of them I can. I don't know. I was kind of off on Bregman's market last year because I thought a lot of teams were going to look at the numbers and like kind of some of those juice ball years where his biggest stats were. I don't know. I think what he adds to a clubhouse, his defense, steady at bats, and his numbers clearly falling off after injury. He's going to do really well. It does seem like life change for Breggy, that he a couple kids now and he wants his forever home. Shout out HGTV. That I don't know. If I had to list my top 3 teams for I don't want to jump to Bregman. Bichette, I would say Blue Jays. They are still there. I guess Red Sox. Can you rule out the Phils?
They do still feel like everything we had said about them earlier in the offseason would hold true. Like if they wanted to do the move Bohm, sign Bregman, or trade for somebody.
I don't know. Mets like signing second basemen. Let's see with Bo. Breggy's next, so that's an easy thing to piggyback because we just did that. Yeah, you'd have to have the Red Sox on the list as well. I know. I feel like I've done that the past couple, but the impact and everything they've talked about there. And I'm so happy I found this conversation that I just had with myself and Joe Solano, a.k.a. Joe's McFly, just walked in the room. Well, actually, this is bad news. The Red Sox are going to make moves because Bregman came off the books, and they traded Devers last year. That they need to appease that, which I'm a little worried about. That Bregman coming back could be a real thing for them. Tigers have been linked to him, and I've still never made sense of it, but they like themselves some Alex Bregman. I guess they have a ton of young hitters that maybe they could look at Boston and be like, hey, you come teach these guys how to play baseball. That's weird. Him and Hinch. And number 1, they have the Cubbies. So I guess these are the 3 teams linked the closest to Bregman. Part of me wants to throw the Mets in the mix just because what the heck are they going to do? Although they like Beatty, and Beatty's numbers last year were nice. That they were like, I don't know, Beatty, Lindor. Who's their second baseman? Do they have one? Or are they all second basemen? Marcus Semien.
Yeah.
Marcus Semien. That defensively, where they want to get a lot better, that's Stearns' ball, Brewer's ball, that they like that little infield. So, I don't know. I guess it's in my head more than it is other people. Murakami, we talked about him a lot at the top. List the Mariners, Reds, and Marlins. Now we're talking. Wow. I like the Reds. They're kind of the team I jump to when it's like, okay, medium risk, potentially high reward. You've been looking for a bopper. You've got a hitter's ballpark. Ellie needs a little bit of help. That there's some risk there. I mean, if he flops, you're going to feel it. But if he's cool, the Cincinnati Reds, like Ellie De La Cruz, Murakami, Hunter Green, you got the globe covered with different kind of stars that I've liked with no links or rumors or anything. I've liked the Reds for Murakami. And part of the reason I do, because the Mariners, are they going to put him at third base or DH because Polanco's out? Again, there's a connection there, and that would be so fun for Seattle. They actually become a little lefty if they do that, which if there's a side you want to be on, it is that. That would be fun. Marlins, I don't. Come on. I got to see that. Okamoto, I may go quick on because he's another one that nobody knows what to do with. My God. The contact numbers are like incredible, so that's cool. Same walk to strikeout ratio. Supposedly plays the corner infield and corner outfield, which if you can make contact and you can play those 4 positions, you're one of the more valuable players in baseball. So it's going to be like his early games I'm super excited to watch because it's like, okay, did we just add a guy that can play 4 positions or a guy that can play none? Like, I think we're going to find that out about Okamoto pretty quickly. Miguel Andujar. By the way, hit last year. Go look at the stats. Miguel Andujar hit last year. Okamoto, they have Reds, Cardinals, Pirates. Cardinals getting in the mix would be fun. I don't know. What commentary can I add? Joe McFly just squeaked Yankees, as he always does. Let's see. As we come down the list, oh, my God, I think I see what Big Baby David got a chuckle early on. Eugenio Suarez, Pirates, Athletics, Angels. Pirates. God, would that not be the $25 million a year? We brought in a guy who hit 50 home runs.
Looks like a pirate.
Not on the field. The other teams listed are Athletics, Angels. Gino. It's a weird one. He's 34. He hits a ton of homers. It feels like the other at-bats are pretty empty, but it's enough homers that it works. The defense doesn't jump off the charts. People are wondering if there's going to be a first base move in his future. I don't love the teams I'm seeing for Gino, if I'm being straight up. The first team I jumped to, though, is Texas Rangers. I guess that would be the team I had on the list. They've been looking to spark their offense. You don't like that? Joe says they don't want to spend money. I don't think you have to. For what the baseball card tells your fans about Eugenio Suarez, the money you're giving out is not like crazy baseball money.
And Joe's is just saying they're trading Seager, so money's not a problem.
Squeaked Yankees again. Luis Arraez, Padres, Pirates, Athletics. How far have we gone for the batting title? Hey, Pirates! We found it. Pirates.
Also has a pirate look to him.
Oh, my God. Go get this guy. Big outfield. You need hitting. You got positions. The DH slot can be available if you need it. Oh, my God. The biggest lock for hitting in baseball, contact hitting, is a free agent, and no one cares. That's nuts. What happened to the sport I love? Hour 10 of Wake and Jake. I also think the Rockies are really funny because the outfield's huge. He would win the batting title. He could bat 380 there, and the Rockies can say, look what we got. Crazy that we're just talking about these bad teams for the 28-year-old 3-time batting champ, 2-time.
He's already won 3 batting titles and probably has another one in him.
Says America's GM Jim Bowden and BBD.
Anything he says, I say too.
Oh, I also didn't realize he did this by infielders and then outfielders. This is the one that I think made BBD laugh. JT Realmuto listed, who people think is an interesting free agency. Jim Bowden, with his only goof of the article, listed the Phillies all 3 times.
Rare goof from Jimmy B.
You got it. We all got to get through life some way. Respect it. The outfielders, which again, I thought we were just doing this by top players, so it's kind of why haven't we seen Tucker and Belly yet? Makes a lot more sense now. Kyle Tucker, Blue Jays, Dodgers, Yankees. Blue Jays would love to sign Tucker, he says. Okay. And I think they might get Tucker because I think everyone else likes Tucker.
Everyone else would like to sign
I think
him.
the Blue Jays or the Dodgers are very interested, but they're dealing with some money stuff. I don't know how it ends, but them adding Tucker, hey, if it happens, we're all just going to shrug and say that's what they do now. If it doesn't. And then the Yankees, I don't know. Yankees really want pitching. Yankees do want Belly. Where Belly's price tag may be going, the Yankees might be out, which if you're out, Belly was your second best player last year. That I don't know what their audible is. But yeah, I get this is where I start to spin myself around that if the Blue Jays are going to sign Tucker, are they going to sign Bichette and Cease and Vlad? Because now are the Blue Jays a new franchise? Are the Yankees gone? And he started crying. And then attached to that is Cody Bellinger, Yankees, Mets, Dodgers. Should the Mets also be in on Tucker? I guess they pay that Soto guy a lot of money. I don't know. They have to get outfield.
They cleared some long-term outfield money.
Nimmo's gone. They were in on outfield before Nimmo left. Cody also plays first base, which the Mets still kind of need because they signed Jorge Polanco.
They can make use of that.
Not gonna start sending darts this late into the episode. Man, Belly can really send the Yankees offseason into a tizzy. And I think the last player listed, shout out to Ryan O'Hearn.
Made the list.
All he's done is mash righties the past couple years. Pirates, Padres, Reds, yeah. I would like it for the Pirates should try to sign 3 Ryan O'Hearns. Change how your team feels. Sign O'Hearn, sign Arraez, Okamoto. Suarez, okay. If you sign those 2 contact hitter, Ryan O'Hearn in the middle, then you can sign Eugenio to hit the home runs. Pirates, bring me in. Do I add them to my list? My 2 retirement jobs, well, the part of the reason they're my retirement jobs is because Colorado and Arizona I find beautiful. And the
Pittsburgh's
warm weather.
Sneaky walkable.
Pittsburgh, beautiful in the summer. That would be a special advisor gig. That would be a June through August type gig. Thank you to America's GM, Jim Bowden, for getting us through that. And yeah, just a reminder that these next steps are going to be, I think we'll get a couple signings around Christmas because humans are humans, that the players and the front office like to get their snaps in. We got it done around the holidays. How nice is that? You're gonna be a San Francisco Giant. How do you like that?
A couple teams will like feeling like they got their biggest thing done before the new year, before they go take like 10 days off.
Well, yeah, we could. 2 months is when Alex Bregman signed last year. So he could be patient. Maybe a lot of teams and players are going to be patient. Because why did 3 pitchers get 2 years, $22 million, and sign on the same 24 hours? There's a C word, and I'm going to let Joe's McFly yell that C word into the mic to send us out today. In 3, 2, 1. I don't know if the microphone picked that up. He said
to yell it.
He said subscribe, and then he said collusion. Thank you guys. I don't even have the heart to look at football this weekend because the Knicks won the cup, so we're just celebrating. We're just celebrating, baby. We love you guys. Enjoy your weekend. We will see you back here before the Honda days. Love you.